Hi, I'm Jonathan from Positive Grid, and today I'll demonstrate everything you need to know to get started with your Spark 2. For starters, make sure your firmware is up to date. Head to the link below to find out how. Next, let's go over everything that comes in the box. When you first open it, you'll find this helpful card that has a QR code on it that will help you get the app so that you can get started right away with your Spark 2. Next is the accessories box. Inside here, you'll find the power supply and the USB cable. And then, of course, last but not least is the Spark 2 amp itself. Next up, we'll go over all the controls on the top panel. This is where most of the controls will be found that you'll use when you're setting up your tones and getting ready to play. First and foremost, in the upper left-hand corner is the power button. Press and hold it in to turn your Spark 2 on. You can do the same thing to turn it off. On the opposite end, in the top right corner, you'll find the instrument input, which is for general electric guitars, acoustic guitars, or basses. Back on the far left under the power button, you'll find the preset selector knob. New to Spark 2, there are 2 banks of 4 presets. You can switch between banks by pressing the knob in, and you can choose presets by turning the knob. Each of these presets is fully customizable inside of the app, and you can save presets to any of the slots, replacing the original factory presets. Next, we find the amp controls, starting with the gain knob and ending with the master knob. These control the gain, the EQ, and the master output for the amp that's selected in the current preset. Moving to the right of the amp controls, we find the effects controls. These control the modulation, delay, and reverb effects levels within the current preset. Moving right along, we find the music volume control. This controls the volume of Bluetooth music playback, USB audio, and looper playback volume, including the click. Last on the far right is everyone's favorite, the guitar volume knob. This controls the overall volume of your guitar. It's also important for setting the record volume of your guitar or bass when you're using the loopers. To the right of the Spark 2 logo, you'll find the simple looper controls right here. First up, we have the record dub button. Tapping this starts recording your loop. Tapping it again stops recording and begins playback, which you can see by the green indicator under the play stop button. If you tap it again, it'll turn yellow, which means now you're overdubbing. A final tap stops your overdub, which will now be playing on top of your original loop. If you notice, as soon as I hit that last time, the button to the far right, the undo redo button, lit up. What this means is that you've got an overdub in there that you can decide to keep or you can get rid of if you don't want it. Tapping undo redo will take the last recorded loop off, and you'll see that button then goes out. If I hit it again, it brings it back, as indicated by the fact that it's lit up. If I press the stop button and it turns white, you know that there's a loop still recorded inside of the memory, even though it's not playing. If I don't like anything I've recorded, I can hold down the undo redo button, and I'll see all of the lights flash red, and now I've cleared all of the loops. So those are the basic controls. To the right of these, you'll find the tap tempo button. Closing out the physical controls and connections on the top panel, we have a 1/8 inch stereo headphone output. Plug in a pair of headphones with a 1/8 inch jack and you can practice quietly. There's a couple more things to notice over here by the power button. First up, we have the Spark battery indicator. If you have a Spark battery installed, a solid green light indicates a battery level of 50 to 100%. A solid yellow indicates a battery level of 10 to 50%. And solid red means the battery level is under 10% and you should probably plug in your Spark to charge it. If it's flashing green, yellow, or red, it indicates that it's charging and where it is in the charging process. Next, we have the wireless indicators. These indicate the status of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections. Solid blue/green equals connected. Flashing blue or green means that it's pairing. And that's everything there is to know about the controls on the top panel of the Spark 2. Now let's turn it around and take a look at the back panel to see what else we have on offer. First, you'll find a DC input, which is for the official power supply that comes with your Spark 2. Next, you'll find a USB-C connection for connecting to computers or devices. Next is a stereo aux-in case you want to run an external sound source into your Spark 2. To the right of the auxiliary in, we have two 1/4-inch line outputs. You can either use both to run stereo, left and right signals, or you can just use the left if you want to go mono. And then lastly, we have the pairing button, which you would use to put the Spark 2 into pairing mode to connect via Bluetooth. Now we'll take a look at how to install the Spark battery if you have one. Start by turning the amp over. You'll see on the bottom there's a panel here. You can push in and slide down to remove the panel. Take your Spark battery, orient the sticker here so that it faces towards the grill. This ensures that the connectors line up and the battery makes correct contact inside of the amp. Finally, replace the cover. Slide it into place until it clicks shut. And there you go. We've covered all the controls, how to install a battery, and how to get sound in and out of your Spark 2. Be sure to check out the rest of our Help series videos to find out more about how you can get the most out of your Spark 2.